Hi everybody from YouTube, all my followers. Right, welcome to another video. And this video today is gonna be probably, I think I said this a few times before, but this time is gonna be probably a little bit different than the ones you are used to on the channel. It's not gonna be diagnostics as such really involved in here. It's not going to be scanners or machines or nothing probably that special. But this car came to right. This car is a 2009 Citroën Peugeot. The engine on this is the 1.6 turbo diesel, which is the common engine on Citroën, Peugeots, even Fords. I think they use the same engine. Volvos as well. They use a similar engine. Now, this car came to me because two things. First, the car had no power. No power at all. Was very sluggish. Not responsive to the throttle. Really poor. And another thing was, he was smoking quite badly. I'm not going to say was smoking really bad, but he was smoking a little bit more than usual. So I had the car dropped yesterday, and my first thing was to put the car inside, and is probably some of you are already thinking about it, was checking the turbo. The car doesn't have a lot of mileage. I don't have the key. Where's the key for this car? I think the car is on 70. I think I put the key inside already, but the car is on a 70 odd something, so it doesn't have a lot of mileage. We're gonna look to see exactly what is causing this issue. I already found it, but obviously I'm gonna show you. Okay, so the only thing I've done so far is actually remove the intake pipe, which is over there. And because my first guess was to check the turbo. And guys, I've seen a lot of things, but this one, which you're gonna just see now, is quite funny. So the nut for the turbo that holds the actually compressor blades, that central nut over there just came off. It's dropped in there, and obviously because the blade, the nut has been tried to get through, has been damaging all the blades around. As you can see in there, all the blades are damaged because the nut has just been tried to get through. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna try to fix this. This is gonna be a turbo replacement, but it's gonna be a slightly different turbo replacement, because what I've been asked to do is to buy only the core for the turbo, and obviously replace everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this turbo out, and we're going to replace only the core. And as we take this off, then we're going to see a little bit better the damage. I will take you through the damage. I'll take you through how to remove all this, obviously. And yeah, that was a completely turbo failure. Funny enough is that the fact that the only failure was caused because that nut somehow got loose and came off. Okay, so I'm hoping I'm not gonna make this a long video, but I'm gonna do step by step on how to remove the turbo. Obviously the put it back is gonna be the reverse, so obviously I don't need to go through that. But to take it off, the first thing you need to take this spring loaded clip, which is usually here. So what I've done is I've just compressed it and pushed it back. Then you have this tab here that you need to lift, and that at the back, that jubbly clip that you need to lose. Then you just pull it backwards and you pull it to the front, and that comes off. Now, next thing, you need to take this pipe out. Just a jubilee clip in there. Job done. Then you have a clip which goes in here. Okay, there is a bolt, sorry. There's a bolt underneath there. You take the bolt and then this comes off. And now we just lift it up. Oh, there's a bolt here I need to take off. That one you don't need to touch, just take that one. And now you lift and you pull it back. That comes out. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this by removing less parts as possible. And my next thing to remove was this shield that goes in here. This goes underneath that part. There's 3 screws that I need to take off, and then there is 2 at the back, which is one there and one there. There's one, I think you're gonna be able to see it, but on this one here, there's one right underneath there. You need to take it off so you can pull it backwards a little bit, so you can remove this one. I'm gonna try to do this without removing this big one. I don't know if it's going to be possible, possibly not, because I believe there is some screws underneath there that will have to come off. And yeah, so I'm gonna have to remove this big one. To remove this big one, there's a lot of screws that goes under right at the bottom. There is the DPF pressure pipes that's gonna have to come off, so there is quite a lot of things, so we're gonna have to remove this one. To remove this one, there is, come on, there is one screw over there, right at the bottom there. Okay, there's one there. Obviously that one that was right at the back, I took it off already. And now there is some more right at the bottom. I think I'm gonna have to put the car on the ramps while it's still running to actually do that job. So we can take this one off. We're gonna have to take these 2 pipes here, these metal pipes right there, that you can see they go onto the DPF. So these 2 pipes, they need to come off, then that will come out. And yeah, that's the hardest bit to remove. Okay, so the actually DPF pipe, as you can see, is hanging off over there on the side. It's already been removed. I removed the bolt that was supposed to be over there, and if you can see it missing. I removed the one right at the bottom. It's gonna go. Oh. Okay, so I removed that one here. Now we're going to remove that one there. And when we remove this, we should be able to take this shield. We're going to be able to remove the shield. Now I'm going to have to remove everything off. I'm going to have to remove the actually whole cat and DPF, because we are going to change the actually oil sump filter, the pickup filter. I had in the past where I changed them and they were partially blocked with, you know, all that sort of gunk that goes into the engine, and you know, so because we're going to replace the turbo, we're not going to risk it to leave the same oil pickup filter in there, so we're going to change that as well. So we're going to have to take the oil sump completely out, and as you can see, to take the oil sump, we're going to have to remove the wall, the wall actually DPF and cut off. Otherwise you can't really remove that. I mean, you can, but we'll see how we go, see if I need to remove it or not. But I'm probably going to try to not to. I might have to remove it out, so we'll see how it goes. Okay guys, I do apologize because it's really getting dark now, but as you can see, I've removed the shield. It's a little bit of tricky to get it out through here. There's not a lot of space, but it can be done. I have already removed the other pipe for the DPF, which goes here. That's already removed, so they are both. There's one here and the other one is at the top, obviously. One of the things I advise as well is, now I'm going to do it, is clean these pipes. So disconnect the pipe at the DPF pressure sensor at the top and just give them a good blow, good cleaning. So the next thing we're going to do now is lose these here, this bracket. There's a few bolts here. There's two bolts holding actually DPF, which is one there. You might can see that long nut in there, all rusted. There's one in there. You should have another one. Right, this one is a little bit more difficult to see, but right there at the top, hopefully you can see it. Okay, and this is the only two nuts that actually hold the whole unit. Then obviously hold it by this bracket and obviously the turbo bracket. So we're gonna take all this and hopefully we can then remove this out. Okay, so the DPF has now been removed. I've not removed anything else than what I've told you before, so there's nothing extra. There's only one thing I forgot about it, which is the actually O2 sensor. You need to take it off in there or just unplug it at the top. Just don't forget, don't drop that straight, because you risk it to break the cable, obviously, so you can't forget that. But yeah, so that's been removed. And as I said, to remove the actually sump now, these actually flexi moves out of the way, so I don't need to take anything else here. And we are now in position to actually remove the turbo right up there. Okay, I think I said it already. I do apologize for being recording these on the dark, but just try to get done as much as I can today. So to remove the turbo, we have, let me try to put the torch here somehow. You can actually see it. So I'm gonna have to remove this bolt. Then you have that one in there, and you're gonna have one up here, but it's actually a nut that is behind there, as you can see over there. And that's all. I've already disconnected this. There's two nuts at the top. We're gonna have to take the oil supply, so we can actually take that circlips that's underneath there to take the lever that activates the turbo. And on that side we need to take the turbo oil return, which is holded by actually it's holded by that right there after the torch. There is a Jubilee clip in there. Take that pipe out and the turbo comes off. Okay, so removing the turbo, I've already started. I do apologize, guys, once again. The light is the weather is absolutely crap. Anyway, so I've removed the oil feed, and that's been removed. Now we have two nuts right under there. There's one there and one further that way. They are actually studs that goes into the manifold. In my case, the nut didn't come out. The whole stud actually came out. It doesn't really matter. It makes no difference. And the only thing left now is those two nuts right at the back, and the turbo will come out. Okay, so the turbo has been removed. It's over there. On the top, one side the nut came out okay, the other side same thing, the stud actually came out. And right, the next thing we're going to do, I'm not going to show you that, but just thought it worth to mention that, is we are going to remove this pipe. There's another bolt right there at the bottom, you can't really see it, but there's in there. Right there. Okay, so we're going to remove that bolt over there that holds the other end of the oil feed, and we're going to make sure it's cleaned, make sure it's not blocked. And that one, which is the return, I'm probably going to replace it because this is a rubber pipe, you know, it can perish over the years. So it's probably for the sake of a few quid, I'm just gonna get a new one and get it replaced. Okay, so why I'm out here, we are gonna remove the intercooler. Obviously anything that would come out from that turbo would go straight into the intercooler, so it's going to be probably full of oil, and who knows, maybe debris, so we're not going to risk it, and we're going to take it out to give it a clean. To take the intercooler, you take these two flexi outs. Obviously one was here that you had to remove earlier, and the other one connects these to here. Take them off, make sure you cover these holes so you don't drop anything inside. And the next thing you do is you need to take this cover off. There's a cover here at the front. Underneath here you have two bolts that holds the top of the intercooler, so now it moves freely, and now you just need to pull it out. Unfortunately you still have no room due to the pipes for the aircon. So what we're going to do, we're going to tilt these radiators forward so we can then slide these out. Okay, so to tilt this, we have these two bolts, one here, one there. You put a torque in here, and you just obviously just take this one out, take that one out, and that should then tilt forward. Okay, so the intercooler is now removed. So what you got to do is you need to pull all these forward. Shit, come up. And at the same time, just take off the position, push everything that way, and the intercooler comes right through here. And I think it's enough for today. It's getting cold, and that's how you take the intercooler. Okay, back today. The weather is slightly better today, so the oil is draining already. So we are draining the oil. The filter is already been loosened, and what we're gonna do next is we're gonna rebuild the turbo. As I said yesterday, we need to clean the intercooler. I'm also gonna clean the DPF. I have already splitted the DPF, so that's the cut side. This is the DPF. When you take it apart into bits, make sure you don't damage the seals. And what we're going to do is we're going to clean the DPF only before we put it back on. As you can imagine, there's been oil oil leaking everywhere. It's been burning a lot of oil, so the chances are that TPF is going to be full of carbon, and last thing we want is put everything back on and then to find out that the DPF is blocked. Okay, so while the oil is draining, I have 2 filters in there. I'm gonna use that cheap oil to kind of flush the engine, so just run it for half an hour or so and then drain the oil again and then put the proper oil in the end. So yeah, so for now we're gonna rebuild the turbo. The first thing you want to do when you rebuild this is make sure you put a mark here and a mark on the body. I know we're gonna have a different body in there, but we can then make sure this fits exactly where it should be. That side is not so important, that stays exactly where it is. So if you leave a few degrees back or forwards, it should kind of work. Although you have this fixed pipe in there, so you need to be careful. But obviously between the exhaust manifold and the exhaust or the cat, you don't have a lot of play in there, so we need to make sure we leave that correct. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take these bolts off, take the drain pipe, and yeah, and it's going to go. The replacement core is already there, new O-ring, new seals, so let's do it. Mark the turbo, the old one obviously, as you can see. I've done one mark in there and one in there, and basically I've done them aligned with the feed, with the inlet feed in there for the oil. So when I put the new one, I just need to make sure I align these 2 marks with that feed, and that way I make sure everything goes the way it was before. Okay, so we have now opened the old turbo. So the damage is quite substantial, as you can see. The turbine, the compressor side is gone completely, and obviously because that allowed this, obviously as we saw earlier, the nut came off and that allowed the wall shaft to move that way, as you can see. So this side is also quite damaged, so that has been touching right there in the core, but this is cast iron, so I'm not worried with that. The damage is just polished really, so there's not a lot of damage there, so that's good. On the compressor side, as you can see, has been touching there as well. Obviously it's a little bit scratched, but nothing, it's still good. So another thing that I've noticed is on the oil exhaust, on the oil drain, or on the oil exits in there, it's full of carbon. So obviously it should be only oil. Even the pipe you can see in there. So there's been a lot of exhaust smokes getting into the oil system. So good that I have some spare oil to flush the engine. But yeah, so this is okay. So we're gonna clean everything. So this is obviously rubbish. We're gonna clean everything and put the new core. Just I think worth to mention that I'm not gonna take the vanes off, but I've cleaned all this, which obviously is the place where the vanes are actuated. They are all moving freely. I've cleaned the actuator ring, the bearings, and so obviously clean this, and is now everything ready to put it back. The new core is now fitted, as you can see there. The exhaust side, actually there is a pin, you can't really get it wrong, but okay, so that's all done, already checked. is not touching anywhere, so it's not touching, which is good. The actuator is already in place. I left it exactly as it was. If we need to adjust them, if we have any lag or any turbo issues, we will adjust the arm, but for now I'm going to leave it as it was before. And the only thing now is clean the drain and put it in there. It came with new seals, and that's it. And we're gonna start to put everything back on. Hi guys, I'm getting a little bit concerned about this. I don't know if you can see the return right in there. Can you see all in there is carbon? There is, it shouldn't be like this. There's no oil at all coming through. So obviously, or all the oil from the turbo has been actually going through the admission system, or was no feed going onto the turbo. I'm a little bit concerned about this. I'm thinking about take all these off and see how this is inside, because with carbon going there, I don't know what would happen. I'm going to remove the oil sump and see what's in there, see if there's anything there that would trigger, that would ring any bells. But at the moment I'm a little bit concerned about this, the fact that the return pipe is that dry, it's full of carbon. There's no signs of oil going through this. So the sump has been removed. We kind of bent a little bit the corner in there and a little bit here to force to split from the engine block, but we'll straight that afterwards. There's no gasket on this, is only that black sealant, and the pickup has been removed already. There's 3 screws, 3 bolts. Careful with those bolts, guys, they are a pain in the ass to take off. I've ended up by having to break the actually pickup because one of the bolts didn't come out. So was this one. So I ended up by having to take the 2 that came off, break it off, take everything around this one, so to expose the bolt completely, and then using one of these extractor tools, I've then removed it. I then took it off. I want to show you the old sump, and look right in there how it is. You might not see very well, but it's absolutely blocked. So I'm gonna pick up the other one, the good one. So this is the one we removed. So look right in the middle how that is. And now I'm going to show you the good one. That's how it should be. So as you can see, that one is absolutely blocked. So at this moment in time, I'm not sure if the turbo failed because of lack of oil, which it kind of sounds like, because like I said, for the drain from the turbo, for the return to be completely dry, there's no oil on it inside of it, it's completely dry. I can only imagine that was oil starvation. So what we're gonna do now, I'm not gonna record that about, well, I might do. We're gonna put this new one back in, clean any remaining sealant from the edge of the engine block, clean all these, new sealant, and put everything back on. Okay, so the oil sump is now in place, everything is back on, and we are now going to put the turbo. But before we put the turbo, like I said, we're going to have to clean the pipe work. Now the screw, the bolt that comes out from over there, that holds the feed pipe is fitted with a filter. Don't know if you can see right there, there's a filter. So this was absolutely blocked. At this point I'm starting to believe that that turbo failed due to lack of oil than anything else. So the pipe itself is okay, it's cleaned, but this filter in there, it was absolutely blocked. You can see the filter in there, so we're gonna clean it a little bit more, and then yes, we'll put everything back in there. Okay, so the turbo is now kinda in place. Okay, it's not completely tightened yet, but I'm just putting the feed in there. I'm just recording this bit just to make sure I highlight the fact that before we put anything, I'm going to use this to fill the chamber with oil. The reason for that is because obviously when you first start the engine, it's going to be no oil in there. There's going to be a delay between the pump pushing the oil up here, and obviously the turbo is going to spin straight away, and the moment the chamber is empty. So we're going to fill it with oil first, and then obviously then we put it all back on. Okay, so everything is back in place. I've put some oil on the engine. I've used this really cheap oil just to flush the engine. So I had the engine running for about 20 minutes or so. Didn't rev the engine really hard, just a few revs up, but nothing major. And now I'm going to drain this oil, and then I'm going to fill the engine again with the final oil. In this case, it's going to be the Castrol Edge, and there's a new filter as well that's going to be replaced. It was a new filter before. Well, this was a new filter, but I'm just going to change it again and put a new one, and then it's just a matter of a test drive. Okay, so I've done the last oil change. So a new filter, like I said, once again, new filter, new oil, and we're going to go for a test drive. I've cleared the codes. Was a few codes in there for some of the stuff I unplugged, but that's it. It was just that. I've cleared everything. There's no codes on this ECU, and I'm going to go for a test drive now. Okay, I just came for a test drive, as I said. I've done about 20 miles so far, and the car is driving absolutely faultless. No problems at all, it's pulling fine. Even high revs, there's no lag, there's no nothing. It's running absolutely fine. So I think I'm gonna end the video here. I said it already, but I would like to apologize for some of the parts of the video where I've been doing that with a low light. Probably this is a little bit of a the video has been done over 3 or 4 days, so it might be that I missed something. If I did, please use the comments to say something. But hopefully will be some useful information on this video for someone out there. And that's it. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Any comments, questions, put them below. And like always, thank you for watching.